Are you there? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is my absolutely first live YouTube video. And I'm trying to learn this whole process so I can teach others what I've learned about art. I want to be an art resource for others. And thank you for being here. If you're here, if you follow me and see this after the live presentation, I appreciate you watching then too. So thank you so much for encouraging me on this crazy journey. For those of you who've never been here before, don't know me in person, my name is Carrie Waltz. I've taught art for 17 years. I taught public school for 30, so a total of 37 years. Anyway, it's hard to imagine. Today, because I'm going to be doing some demos and discussion of the drawing, because we're going to focus on drawing today. My friend Debbie is going to monitor the chat. I'm not going to be looking at it because I don't need the distractions. So she'll be able to answer your questions or hold off till the end when I'm through with what I want to show you. And I can answer anything then. And if I miss something, please let me know. Because this is new for me. And I'm hoping that what you see today will want you to come back and do this next week. We'll give it a try. Why I picked drawing to do a series with is because I feel that's the most urgent need. And so many of my art students and people that I've just in passing said, oh, I wish I knew how to draw, or I wish I could do that. And you can. And I know I can teach you because I have taught middle school students how to draw. And honestly, the most the compliment that thrills me the most is when my students would come up and say, Ms. Waltz, I didn't think I could draw till I had your class. And I want that for everybody. So that is why I'm here today. I'm here to start you with the very, very basics. Please don't be insulted at how simple this is, but I want to build your confidence. So we're starting very, very as easy as I can so that what I do each week builds on itself. And hopefully at the end of this, wherever the end may be, you will look back on today and go, I'm glad I was there. So Debbie, can you hear everything? Is everything good? Debbie? Did I lose her? Hold on. She's supposed to be on my phone. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, I had myself muted.
Oh, okay. But can you hear everything? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So she had herself muted. I forgot about that because her dog was barking in the background.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Good.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm gonna ask you one thing. If you are not watching live, or if you are, the thing I want you to do today, before we actually start anything, for those of you who are watching this on replay, when I show you what I want you to do, this right here, take a piece of paper, divide it into fourths, and in one space, draw a person's head. Another space, draw a chair or stool. Another one, draw a person head to toe. And another one, draw something that is your choice. The reason why I want you to do this is this begins your baseline. This is your beginning. And I don't want you to compare yourself to anybody else other than you. And so when I taught middle school students, the very first day we were in class, I asked them to do this, and they just went, their look on their face was sheer terror. It's like, you're going to make me do this now? And they go, I don't know how to draw. And I said, that's why I'm in here. But I need to know what you can do now. And once they do that, then like you, I want you to take that, date it, put it away, and get it out every now and then to see where you've grown. And to me, then you can celebrate your successes better, because creativity kills the joy out. I mean, not creativity, comparison kills the joy of creating. So I want to get that comparison out, other than just you are trying to improve your skills. So in that light, I want you to know that this is what I want you to be thinking about. I can't is not allowed. I had a great big sign like this on the back of my schoolroom classroom. So if you hear that I can't coming into your head, get it out. It's not allowed. It's a cuss word. Okay, this is my new phrase. Everything is figure-outable. I am learning how to do all this YouTube stuff and how to video and how to help you. So this is, you're going to figure this out. You're going to be able to draw, and I'm going to help you. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera, turning it down. I'm going to zoom in. And all right, Debbie, let me know if you can't see that. Okay.
So you're zoomed in?
I'm zoomed in. Okay. We're going to start with the basics so that you can see easily. I'm going to do this in a Sharpie. Please get your pencil and paper out and do this along with me. We're going to start with a straight line. That's a horizontal line. Here's a vertical line. Diagonal line. Okay, that's not too stressful, I hope. This line can be fat. It can be dotted, diagonally dotted, whatever, but it's straight line. That is one thing I want you to know. And you should be able to do that. Don't need a ruler. Then there's curve lines. They might curve down. They might curve up. They might connect. They might spiral. They might do this. But any line that's bent, it might just be bent ever so slightly. But draw a few curved lines and see how that feels. Not too hard. Then I want you to think math. I know math. You have math in art, believe it or not. You have right angles. A right angle is a 90-degree angle. You have obtuse angles, very wide, obtuse. Always think of it as, you know, that wide. And oh, it's so cute. Little acute angle, anything less than 90 degrees. Okay, so you have straight lines, curved lines, angles. Now these are still straight lines, but they meet at a point. Okay, next, sometimes your curved lines come all the way around and meet as a circle. Sometimes they're more oval. Sometimes they're even flatter than that, and that's what we call an ellipse. So what I want you to do this week is practice these things, because honestly, I can't think of any drawing that you can make that doesn't include these. So if you can draw these, you can draw anything. You go, oh yeah, I don't believe that. Well, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove it right. So we're going to take these lines and we're going to draw some things today. And then I want you to practice that same thing through the week. So when I come back next week, you can say, oh, I am ready. I can do this. All right. So one of the things that I definitely want you to think about before I leave this page is these three right here, because the reason why I want you to think about these is anything that's cylindrical, like this little copy of this little mug, pottery mug. If I'm drawing something that is cylindrical, I have to know what point of view I'm looking at. If I'm looking at it straight down, I'm going to start with a circle. If I'm looking at it where it's slightly tilted, I'm going to start with an oval. If it's, you know, a little more tilted, it's skinnier, and there's all different sizes of ellipses. then this is what you go for when you begin. But these are when you're dealing with something that's round. And when you're dealing with things, objects, and you ask somebody to draw it, a lot of my students would do this. They know it's round. They know it's tall and straight. And they know it sits flat on the table. Well, that's not what this looks like. So don't draw what you know. You're going to learn to draw what you see. And with my students, what I want them to do is work on their, what I call their detective skills and their observation skills. Because if you have good observation skills, your drawings will be better. And honestly, if you improve on your drawing skills, you're going to improve in your painting skills. And there's so many of my students who've seen my watercolor journaling and they wish they could do that. But it's really a lot better if you know how to draw. All right. Can you see this? This is what I call a scroll, or that's.
Okay, now we can.
Now you can. Okay, yeah, I forget to.
It's a little blurry, but.
Okay, I'll draw it bigger.
There, that's better, right there.
Okay, there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if I ask you to draw this without showing you, you might freak out a little bit. I don't know. My students did. They go, ugh. Well, if I ask you to draw this without showing you, that might make you a little nervous too. We're not going to necessarily get into the shadow and shading to start off with, because that's a whole nother level of things to practice. So the first few lessons that we're going to do is dealing with line. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. Hopefully, well, sorry for the blue tape in the back, but I think that'll help so you can see what I'm.
Can you tilt that? There you go.
That better?
See it.
Okay. All right. So I want you to do when I start off drawing, I want to do some think lines. Think lines are where you take your finger and you curve around. I'm starting on the inside, curving around, getting wider, going down. Inside, curve around, going wider, getting down. And I'm visualizing where I'm going to put that line. I said I was going to draw in pen so you could see it better. All right, so think lines. Curve around, get wider. Curve around, get wider. All right, so now let's do the opposite. You're going to take what's somewhere on your paper, go wide and get skinnier. Wide, go curve around, come toward the middle. Curve around, come toward the middle. So once you feel that with your finger, then draw it with your pen or your pencil. I would draw in pencil if I were you. It's just a little less intimidating, because I don't want you to feel, I want you to be relaxed. When you learn how to draw and can embrace this concept of drawing one line at a time, then you're open to all sorts of things. So what I want to do now is I want to combine, starting from the center, going out, and then I'm going to pull back and come back in. So I'm going to start around a few times, however many times you want, and then come to there. So I've got, they're not exactly the same. It doesn't matter. But I've got space in between, and it comes down and around. Now I want to show the width of the paper that I'm drawing. This is like a rolled up paper scrolled together. So I'm going to go to the very, very, very top of this scroll line, this curved line. If I went any higher, I would be off the point, and I'm going to draw to the right. So however far that line is, I'm going to draw it 2 more times. So I'm going to come down here to the very top of this. If I went any higher, I would be off, and I draw a line. All I'm doing is just visualizing with my fingers how long it is. You don't need to get a ruler out. You can go like this and mark how wide it is on your pen if you want to, but as long as it's close, it's fine. Then I want to do the same thing down here. Make it, I'm going in the same direction. If you see, these are all parallel. Parallel means if I just raise up, they're going to all be in line. So look for that if yours aren't doing that. Then we've done one curved line, 3 straight lines, and that's it so far. I want you to look at this curved line right here. This curved line needs to be repeated out here. So I'm going to curve and connect. Use your fingers to see that it's following the same line. This is a great way to make sure that you know that it's the same width. Okay, now this line up here seems to be the most difficult one that my students have to draw. They often just want to draw it straight down, or they want to draw it out and to start with and then come back out here. Well, the width of the paper doesn't change. So when you want something to maintain the same size, the same width, use a reference. I'm using my finger as a reference on here. So this finger is going to drag along here, where this finger is going to drag along here. So now that I can see right where I ended right there. Now I can see where I want to go. I've got those think lines going in my head. I can also use my other finger to try to keep in line. So as I go out, then I come back. That should be actually a little more curved there. I'm drawing in pen, so I can't erase it. You'll forgive me. Okay, hopefully you got that. Next thing we want to do is, just like we did the top of this line, we're going to follow this curve to the bottom, the very bottom. If I went any further off, I would go off the page, and I want to draw the same parallel direction until I hit a line. I'm going to get back on that curve, come around to the top, and go, oh, there's another line. Get back on that curve, come around to the bottom, another line, and then I go up to the point there. So we have just created the illusion of paper spiraling inside itself. All right, let's go back down here. We've already done the bottom line here. We've already come up here. Oh, we've already done that. So come back to the spiral, follow it along. You're on the bottom. Draw a line. Always stop when you hit a line. Then you come back up. Draw a line. Stop when you hit that. Come around. Bottom. Top. Yay! What do you think about that? Hopefully you're not overwhelmed. Practice this, play with it. I didn't even pay attention. Oh yeah, okay, to the time. We're gonna do this again in pencil, and another time that I'm gonna do it in pencil again to practice, and I'll show you how to make the tears and openings, but we're not gonna shade it today. I do want to touch on a couple other things real quick, because I don't want these lessons to last too long. So I'm just going to repeat again what we did. Circle around, come back around, go to the top of each section. Oops, I wiggled a little bit because I'm using an easel to do this, so it's a little awkward. And curve here. Follow this curve around, top, bottom, top. If you go beyond a line, erase it. Top, bottom, so on. So when you want to create a tear in it, start somewhere, erase the line that was originally there. This line can now continue further in because it hadn't hit anything yet. And then you can create little, diagonals as though there's something that's been torn away. So, just take some away. You can the kids like to make treasure maps. And I know some adults might not be too thrilled with this exciting assignment, but I want you to understand that one line at a time and paying attention to that is all drawing is. Take this and turn it sideways without the spirals inside, and you have a cylinder. Okay, so this turns sideways as a cylinder. It's curved towards you at the bottom because it's closer to you.
Hey, Carrie, you're almost to the bottom of the screen.
Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know.
An eighth of an inch.
Okay, good. Well, I'm about to switch pages, so that's perfect timing. All right, so what I want you to also do is I want you to think about finding an object in your house. And what we did there, you didn't see what it was. So here's the object that I'm going to be doing. It's a pair of scissors. I'm going to tape this up here just so that the view that you're seeing is the same view that I'm going to be drawing. That's the bad thing about video and photography is, well, if I might be drawing something and what you see is slightly different than me. So I'm going to tell you how I created this drawing. Now, this was done in pen. If you want to really hone your observational skills, then draw in pen. That forces you to pay attention the first time. Okay, so if I'm going to draw something like this, it's like, oh, where in the world do I want to start? So I'm going to start right here at this point. And I'm going to draw, what is this? It is a diagonal line. I don't want you to call it the blade of scissors. I want you to just refer to those straight line, angle line, those terms. So, and there's a reason for that later. I'll get into that another time, but not today. All right, so I'm going to do an angle. Okay, it's about yay long. Then it comes to this point, and there's another angle that's kind of short, diagonal. So I'll do a short diagonal line. And then it comes to another point and angles back. This is actually an obtuse angle. It's a little wider than 90 degrees. And it goes there. Then I'm going to come back out here because there's a slight bend right here before it connects back over here. So I'm going to do that slight bend. And then I'm going to connect it. And I see, oh, there's a circle in the middle. So I'm going to draw a circle. Let's got a little big, but that's okay. I'm going to come out here and there's another line that curves out from here and back up underneath. Now mine right here went back up underneath a little sooner than that. It doesn't matter. If that bothers you, erase it and move it. But this is just getting the idea of I'm drawing one line at a time. The next line I draw has to relate or touch to the previous line.
Hey, Carrie.
Uh-huh.
So on the screen, your website name is up, and so we can't see the tip of the scissors. So
thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I need. That's perfect. I don't know how to move that name, so that's all I know. Okay.
Yeah, you might need to.
Maybe I'll just put.
That's perfect.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So now I look if I went over here and did these circles out here, they don't touch to this. So always draw something in relationship to something that you've already drawn. So I'm going to look here. There are two lines coming out. And notice this point right here is in the middle. So I'm going to look right here and note the middle is right there. So I know one line comes out here and one line comes out here that's not very long. I can see the three-dimensional part of the handle here. So I'm going to make a double line that comes around that line. It just mimics it. It's like a ripple. It's just a repeat of the line in front of it. And then there's a slight angle line right there. So I've completed this part right here. Now I'm going to look at, I'm right here on this one. Okay. And what I want to look at is this bend right here. How far does it go? Again, I can do think lines. I really like think lines where I can feel where it's going. I might even put a dot out here so I know where I want to land. And so I'm going to draw a slight bent line. It's.
Hey, Carrie, do you have the scissors laying somewhere because we can't see them?
Oh, these? Is that what
you got the actual scissors?
Yeah, they're down on my. I don't think I can.
Okay, that's no problem. You got the little drawing up.
Yeah.
You knew they weren't there.
No, I just figured, well, because when I put I tried to show the picture when I was practicing this, when I had the real item out. Yeah. And what I was seeing and what the camera was seeing was slightly different. Okay. So we're just going with the drawing today.
Gotcha.
So, but thanks for asking. Okay, so now I'm looking here. That's where I stopped. And look what's on the, look what's right there. It's another double line that comes back, not to where I was, but passes that. So I'm going to go right here, connect, and I'm going to just mirror that and draw another line. Okay. So now I'm here and I'm going to go around and back. So around and back. Think line first, get a feel for it. Doesn't have to be the exact size. That got a little skinny. Don't worry about it. Then there's a double line on this end because it's this side that you see the thickness of the pencil. Or scissors. Then there's an oval. It's not an exact oval, but it's close. So you draw an oval on the inside. And you can see the oval there. There's a little bit of thickness that we'll get to just a minute, but we're going to do this long blade first. We're going to come across here. It's going to be longer than the first ones. And back around. And then there's a little bit of thickness that you see there. There's an oval and another inside of an oval. Okay, and let me look at these again. I actually missed a little bit. There's a teeny little bitty shadow. Oops. It's really hard with this, with that easel board out at me. So if you want to add just a little thickness to this side, you can, but those are a little wonky compared to yesterday's drawing when I could draw it flat, but I'm going to turn and face me here, and hopefully what you've seen today is just an inkling, a beginning to see that, you know, you start with one line at a time, and when you can fine tune it and say, is that a straight line? Is that an angle line? Where does it touch? What direction does it go? What I would recommend that you pick whatever object you draw, then change the direction, lay it down again, draw it again, and just cover a sheet of paper practicing one object, but doing it from different directions and different angles. And don't think of yourself, don't think I'm drawing a handle. Think I'm drawing a curved line. I'm drawing an angle line. This is making your mind shift to your right side of your brain. The two books, I'll get them for you in a minute. The two books that I use to teach from is Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain and Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks. Let me just grab them real quick. Sorry. When I literally about 2 minutes before I went live, I knocked my easel over, so these books would hit the floor. Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain is by Betty Edwards, a super, super resource. And Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks. But the Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain helps me understand that if you have if you find drawing frustrated and you're talking a lot while you're drawing, you need to be quiet. And my middle school kids actually learned this. It got really quiet in the room. And you think of 33 middle school kids quiet at the same time. They had to be engaged with what they were doing, and they had to concentrate. And if you're talking or someone's talking to you, it shifts to the left brain, which is language and logic. And so if you keep naming things, like if you're drawing your face and you're talking, I'm drawing an eye. No, don't talk about it. I'm drawing a curve. I'm drawing an angle. I'm drawing whatever it is. Think of those simple drawing things that we started off with. You can name them that way because it's spatial visual, not language logic. And I don't know if that makes any sense. But if anything of this today has been helpful, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And I can't believe I have, I think 145 subscribers. I'm so excited. Eventually I would love to get to 1,000, but right now my goal is 200. If I get 1,000, then I get a community tab where you can communicate and you can have more of a cohesive group that kind of has the same focus. And my channel is, I want it to be a resource for artists. I want it to be where somebody can come and get some help. And with COVID and having to be isolated, and I used to teach a lot of classes in my home, and I'm about to open it up to teach some in my home. But, you know, not everybody's vaccinated yet. And even with that, we'll wear masks when you're here. But you can find information on my website. My website is listed at the bottom of the page. And sign up for a newsletter, which I rarely send out. but I'm about to schedule some classes. And if you think you might be interested, then go to my website and I'll put a link there. I just started working on that today. So it's that part's not up yet. Okay, Debbie.
Hey, Carrie.
Yeah.
One thing, you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folks on, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
And if you haven't subscribed to Carrie and you're new to YouTube, just look for that subscribe button that's red. It's below the lower right-hand corner, and just click that. And then to the right of that is the little bell. If you'll click that, you'll get alerts about her upcoming anything she posts, uploads, or goes live with. You'll get an alert.
Okay, did y'all hear that?
Pardon?
I was seeing if I just pulled the phone up to my microphone to see if I didn't know if they heard that.
Did everybody hear that? If you didn't hear it, chat me.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing is, nobody asked this, but
where'd you go?
Okay, so nobody asked this, but are you going to go over a supply list?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. You definitely pen, paper, eraser. We're going to get into some other things later on. I'll post that on the link and also maybe on Facebook. But we're starting off with just some basics today. You will need a smudging tool to blend with when we get into shading. And that can be just a scrap of an old T-shirt wrapped around your finger. That's a great blending tool. I'm all about saving money. But just the basics. If you have a pen, find a pen that flows pretty well, that doesn't smear, and practice even drawing in pen, because that helps you hone those observation skills. And if you mess up, you know, we're learning. And that's just what kills me sometimes is, I mean, people want it perfect, and they understand, you know, if you play the piano, you're not going to go to a recital the first week that you play. You might not even go in the first year, but you're going to learn your skills. I mean, your scales, and you're going to learn your melody, and you're going to learn what your left hand does and your right hand does. And you know, give yourself a gracious amount of time to learn, and without the threat of, you don't even have to show anybody what you're doing. You're only working toward yourself. Now, if you want to send me a picture, if you have a question, that's what I'm here for. And I really want to help others learn. And my focus is for adults. You are welcome to share this with your kids, or sit along beside them and learn, or teach your grandkids what you learn. but art is a therapeutic escape that brings me peace. And when somebody can experience that for the first time and realize that this was so fun, or it was such a nice escape from my everyday mundane, whatever it is you're doing, that, I mean, everybody needs that. So does that make sense?
If anybody has any questions, if you'll chat them, I'll share them with Carrie too.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And I don't want these to go long. Most of the chats and the chit chat at the end will be at the end. I do want to give you some examples of things each week to practice. And this week, I just want you to look for those shapes that we started off with the line, straight lines, angle lines, ovals, ellipses, and see what you can do. Another thing that you can do is have somebody, here's an example, have somebody draw a square and tell them, you can use curved lines, straight lines, angle lines, and draw something in that square. Anything they want. It doesn't have to be anything. Actually, you want it not to be anything. And then you, in turn, try to turn around and draw it. If they just do straight lines, angle lines, like this one right here, what would you start with? You would start with the oval toward the middle, because everything else is built on that. So when you can find a reference point that everything else is built on, then that gives you a place to begin. So you can pause the video if you want to when you're watching this and look at each of these and try to draw those. But that just gives you another way to practice seeing and hone that skill, because it's important. But learning how to draw will help you in any other method of art. And even if you don't, you might not want to be an artist, you just might want to have the ability to draw. And I love the fact that when I'm trying to communicate an idea and I have the ability to draw, I can sketch out what I'm talking about and people can understand me better. Especially my students that didn't speak English. That was very helpful. So anybody have anything else? Please let me know, or follow up with a question. And I'm going to bring this to a close. And thank you again for joining me for my very first live. It's kind of scary. But I do want to do this every week for a while and see how it goes. And if there's other things that you want or that you're interested in seeing, let me know. I'm going to be teaching some beginning oil painting starting in February, but that will be at the gallery on Ingleside and at the frame shop. So I'll have that posted soon, and you can join me there if you want. Thank you again for being here. Y'all are super awesome, and have a super day. Thank you. Oop.